What's going on? It's good to see you guys again on another Friday night. A little bit earlier than normal, trying to get this show on the road before everybody gets into bed. You know, hey, I'm getting old, man. Carnivore's changed a lot, but I still got to get that sleep. So it's good to see you guys wherever you're watching from. If you'll just take just a moment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button where you are. And we appreciate it, man. I'm so glad to be here again to see you guys. Man, what a beautiful crowd we have in here tonight. Good to see you guys. Dave, Larry, Cassie, man, it's like a family reunion. How you guys tonight?
Hello. Happy Friday.
Awesome to see you.
Yeah.
Great to see you guys.
Awesome, and it's good to see everybody else too. You got Carnivore, good to see you, Steve, man. Teresa, good to see you. Julie, so many piling in, so many getting in here. Shelly, good to see you. Max, Teresa, Kel, Bama. Hey, man, it's the normal crew. It's good to see. If it's your first time, we want to welcome you too. We're gonna have a good time tonight, I'm sure of it. So I guess first, man, Dave, you got the floor, man. Tell us about your trip. Tell us how it went down. Tell us what you learned. Tell us what you didn't like. Tell us everything.
Well, the most important thing is that in Australia, you're going to get some good steaks. And I think that's one of the things that I've really missed being in Japan. Because if you don't go to a really expensive restaurant here, you don't get great steak. Every lunchtime, I was too mad while I was in Sydney, and it was lunch and dinner, massive steak, and basically I was, apart from the coffee side, I was lying the whole time I was there, which is great. I felt pretty good, and I met some awesome people. We had a meetup, and there was about 12 of us there. And met Rod from Stay Strong Live Long. And,
Rod Bland.
Yeah. It was really good. The conference was great, and I was able to catch up with Dr. Mason and other doctors. It was just went by very fast. It was a great time. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. You definitely deserve to enjoy yourself a little bit. You put in a lot of work. Larry, Cassie, what's up with you guys, man? I want to hear something. Well, I just talked to you on the phone like an hour ago, so it's not like I haven't heard from you. But everybody else wants to hear from you too. So how's things going with you guys? You guys are looking great.
Yeah, feeling good, man.
We're back. Real good.
We're back on track.
Yeah.
It's about a week of eating clean underneath our belts, and we're talking, meat and salt. And Cassie what'd you use on the beef jerky? What seasoning was that?
Oh, a little Worcestershire.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
Just a little bit of that, and that's all we've had. And man, what an improvement! Every day we're feeling better.
Oh yeah, we were so busy yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The energy has returned, and it feels really good.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say, hey Dave, did you know that since you were in Australia, that there is a Wagyu cattle farm the size of Idaho? Now you probably don't know how big that is, but that's, a state here. And
in Australia.
Yeah, in Australia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
as big as Idaho.
How did you have Wagyu out there at all?
Yes, I had most commonly Wagyu rump. It was awesome. 500 grams. I guess that's a pound of Wagyu rump. Did me for dinner sometimes. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
I bet you had some amazing steak because it's super fresh out there too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Jealous. I'm a little jealous.
What about you, Sean? You've been doing all your exercises every day for your challenge? Keeping up?
Dude, listen, I just want you to know that for whatever reason, I think that someone has worked a deal out with God to have it rain every single day when I get off work. Like I'm sitting in the house, I walk to the window to get some, whatever. It's nice outside. It's overcast outside. As soon as I clock out and head out to get my stuff in, the bottom falls out. Today, like I made a video about getting pushed over. The wind almost pushed me over in the road because of the rain and everything doing my workout. But I'm getting it in anyway. I was already soaking wet. I was like, screw it, I'm doing it. I'm soaking wet. It doesn't matter because I feel so good. But the whole skinny thing, I'm not used to that. And a big gust of wind comes by and I'm like grasping for a tree, like Dorothy or something in the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, back in the day, the trees used to grasp onto you, huh?
You ain't lying.
We needed the rain though. It's been pretty dry.
It has, man. It was just so cold, man. I mean, it probably wasn't what in it, 60s, high 70s, but that rain with that strong wind, oh my goodness, it was cold. I was like, man, it's something else, but it feels good. Yeah, I'm getting it in, man. 245s a day. Highlight these stickers. I don't want to get. I appreciate you guys. I think you joined my channel. If you didn't, I'm proud. I'm glad you joined wherever you joined. You in good company wherever you're at with these guys.
Yes,
these guys are amazing.
It's our channel. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, if you guys have a question, as always, feel free to put it in the comment section with a Q by it. We will definitely get to you. And in the meantime, like I have some stuff. Like I've kind of got some questions that I've been, pondering, thinking about, whatever. And I can ask you guys and I'll answer them too, whatever. But the first thing that I wrote down that I wanted to get your guys' input on is who or what is worth suffering for? Who or what is worth suffering for? Hey, I mean, we all suffer, like choose to suffer at certain points in our life. Whether it be from, trying to make somebody else's situation better or family or whatever, we choose what we suffer for. So what is it for you guys that primarily in your life, that's what means the most to you? Dave?
That's easy. My kids. Yeah, my kids are worth suffering for. So I'll do anything for them.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably a big driving factor for you with making these changes in your life, getting sobriety and maintaining that sobriety, and not just eating right, not just not doing bad, but choosing to do better. There's a difference, because it's like I always heard people say, it's not even that, like in my faith, people say it's not just that you turn away from the wrong, the sin, it's that you turn to God. Because if you turn away from one wrong to another wrong, it's the same thing, right? What about you? Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
I was just going to say it started for what would be purely selfish reasons. So, it was basically to avoid getting more sick than I was and stuff like that. But now it's definitely, now that I've found this way of eating, it's definitely, it gives me the ability to be, a better person for my kids. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Miss Cassie, what about you?
Oh man. All right. So let's go back a little bit. 8+ years ago, it was suffering for myself. We started with low carb. It was Atkins. I was overweight, didn't feel good, didn't look good. And then things changed, for the viewers out there who don't know my story. I'm not going to go into it, but I ended up being very sick. I had cancer, and that changed. And it was really about not suffering, going through chemotherapy, because I went against recommended chemotherapy when I was told I was cancer-free. And then it ended up turning into my kids, our legacy, and Larry, and being here for them. And really kids and grandkids, and Holly's married off now, and they're going to start a family soon. Little Larry's a young man, and Ashley, she has a little boy, and and of course Larry, because this man probably couldn't survive without me.
But not.
Probably not.
Lord,
So,
no.
that's yeah. It ended up not being for myself. What turned into looking better and feeling better turned into, all right, you got to do this for everybody else, and my family, my dad, and all and stepmom, and brother, etc. How about you, baby?
Yeah. Well, to your original question, who would you suffer for? My children, of course, and Cassie, everybody in the family, close friends, and Jesus Christ. I mean, that's who I would suffer for, not talking about the diet. But as far as our reasons getting on the diet was really to, I was feeling like I was 100 pounds overweight. More than that, I was feeling horrible. But of course, to help, do it with Cassie,
Mhm.
because of after her cancer. So, it's been a struggle. We've fought together, and we're not quite there
Still
yet.
fighting. Still
But
fighting.
we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
What? And that's beautiful, man. The thing is, like, I think there, as far as all of us, I think, I don't know. I say me. How about that? I'll just go with me. When I found this way of eating, it was strictly, okay, well, how does that work for me? How does that affect me? I had no idea what it would turn into, like the rest of us. But it also, I think multiple things were happening at once. You're coming to grips with, like, I'm unhealthy. I've kicked this can as far as it can go. I can't go any further. So now I'm faced with confronting all the issues that I had put in the closet of my mind for so long, So we all suffer. It's what you choose to suffer for. You can suffer getting better and becoming better and growing, or you can suffer the monotony of staying the same and never being able to excel, never being able to move forward until your last breath is drawn, and then it's over, And I don't know. It's a big thing.
And one thing, that last breath, I mean, if you think about it, if we were to have continued with the way that we were, it would have been misery. It would have been a very slow, agonizing death, having to depend on our family to take care of us, right? They would have been our caregivers. And it just, who knows, 10 years, 15 years of misery and constant medication and doctor's visits and in and out of the hospital. So that's a big thing, I think,
Yeah, that's one of the most rewarding things is when you see somebody really heavy and they really start losing the weight and they stop suffering so much.
Yes.
Because it's a big,
Yeah.
it uplifts their entire family.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we saw that firsthand with you, Sean. But,
Yeah.
even in our case, so.
Yep.
Carnivore.
I was reading a book, man, this week, and I'm still reading it. But he brought up the fact, he said 11% of American adults in 2020 admitted to contemplating suicide on a regular basis. 11%. That's
shocking.
that's huge. That's huge. I don't know what 11% of what 300. What do we got? 350 million people in this country, but that 11% is a lot.
I'd almost wonder if that number was larger.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And he just said admitted.
Admitted. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that number is, so in reality, how big do you think that number could be? 20?
Yeah.
Especially with the way things are and all the medication and all the Franken foods out there that cause disruptors and in your, what would that be? With your
I don't know.
Yeah, it just messes you up so much, right? Like, it's we're just poisoning ourselves, and no wonder we're in this way, right?
Absolutely.
Well, and so many people may not say the words, but they're living in such a way that their life screams those words, even though they don't say them. So you don't have to say, I have thought about, suicide or whatever, for your life to implicate you in your way of thinking. If you're living defeated and you don't want to get out, you don't want to get involved, you don't want to have any interaction, you don't see a purpose, you don't see a direction, you don't, all these things, man, you may not have said that's where you are, but your life is, I mean, you're existing. You're not thriving. You're not optimal. You're not, you know, the main point is I say all that and I bring it full circle to you don't have to stay that way. I lived that way for 3 years. It was absolutely miserable, you know, and it takes getting away from that situation, getting out of that situation to look back on it now and say, why in the world did it take me so long to find this? To understand how what I put in my body affects everything my body is connected to, relationships and everything else, you know?
Right. And not only how long, not, you know, for the people who do find it and they do it for a while and then they fall off, and, you know, how long it takes them to get back on, knowing how good they feel, you know, and that shows you the power of the addiction sometimes, you know, and like with Kip, what Kip's going through right now, you know, and what we went through a week and a half ago, we went through it for 3 or 4 days, you know.
Well, you go back a few years though.
Right.
I mean, it took us months
Yeah.
to get back on. It's like we would try, make it 2-3 days or a week or even 2,
and then
stumble again
Right.
and rinse and repeat. It was, just a vicious cycle.
It just shows you how spot on the manufacturers of Pringles were when they said, once you pop, you can't stop.
That's right.
That's absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
The food scientists are not working for these companies to enhance the nutritional value of the food for us.
No.
Yeah, where did I saw somewhere? It was in our Facebook group. Now I haven't read any news on this or anything like that, but something about there's a report that came out that red meat now causes type 2 diabetes. Have you guys heard of this?
Yeah, somebody sent that article. I haven't had a chance to read it just from getting set up on it. I read it to my dad and my wife. I said, get this crap. It's news to me. I wish they had told me before I completely reversed my type 2 diabetes eating this way. I should, you know.
They're trying hard. They're trying real hard. They know that this is the cure.
I tell you what, the red meat on those pizzas and between those hamburger buns are totally what's causing our diabetes.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah, that's it right there. I think they failed to mention that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Goodness sakes.
Yeah. I can't remember. Like I got to get on here and look at it. But yeah, somebody sent that to me, and like I was reading it to my dad and them, and I was like, can you believe this junk? 50%, you know, a 50% higher chance of developing type 2 diabetes. I'm like, exactly. I need somebody to explain that to me, but I need to go in there and see it, I guess.
So one thing I learned last week is if the study says associated with or linked to or may, then you can just ignore everything.
Oh yeah,
that's something I learned at Low Carb Down Under.
Nice. Well, and the thing is, all these studies are paid for, funded by the people who don't want the correct information to get out. They want you to just be oblivious to the truth.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola spends 11 times more than, is it the NIH?
Wow.
I think so. It's crazy.
And what's crazy is it's legal. It's all legal. And you see it in hospitals. You see it in high schools. You see it in prisons. You know, I mean, goodness sakes. It's maddening, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Creative Soul asked, do you guys cold shower, ice bath, meditation, breathing techniques? Dave, you ever done a cold plunge? You ever done the ice bath thing?
I've never done a plunge or an ice bath, but I've occasionally had a cold shower. And while I don't like it, I do feel better afterwards. So there is something to it. And as far as meditation, breathing techniques, nothing for me. I've tried meditating, but my mind's it's very hard to switch off. So yeah, doesn't work for me. I've got to do more work on meditation to actually get it to work. Larry and Cassie, how about you?
No, and I've seen Courtney Luna on Instagram do that ice plunge.
Yeah.
Her and her husband have that it's like a little jacuzzi looking thing. And I've been like, oh, I bet you that because I've jumped in a cold lake before, and you're so invigorated. But there's been a couple times throughout the years when we had no hot water for a few days. You got to jump in the shower, and it always wakes you up.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I actually thought about, she had a link to get it. I thought about, because they're pretty cheap. But would you do it? Would you do an ice plunge every day? I don't think she would.
I don't think so. And it's hitting with touching up on what you said about the meditation. My mind is far too busy, but with something like that, it's practice makes better. You just have to keep practicing. I don't know if I could shut my mind off long enough to meditate, but I've been saying I want to get back into it. I just haven't got around to it yet. But yeah.
Yeah. And for me, yeah, like I do take a 5-minute cold shower every day. I've done that for about, I don't know, 7 days now. So, I most of the time I will take like a warm shower, and then I'll just turn it completely cold, like completely off, and just go 5 minutes. It's supposed to help your mental health. That's what I've always heard. So, we'll see if it can add anything to the situation, good. If it doesn't, then I'm here doing it. So
I think I'd break a tooth from my teeth chattering so much.
Right.
I know, right?
So is that part of your challenge, Sean?
It is part of the challenge. It's actually part of the next phase. But I'm weird, man. I'm telling you, like I would rather just go ahead and get used to it and do it every day.
You're warming up, no pun intended.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. I'm warming up by cooling off. I figure if I can get adjusted, if I can excel in hard stuff, then when easy stuff comes, I can thrive. Like without any kind of opposition, without any kind of even hold back at all. And it doesn't matter what I apply that to. That's how I try to look at it. Does it always work? No. Sometimes I'm like, screw this. This is horrible, But for the most part, I just feel like if I could attack the hard stuff first, man. Oh, let's see. We got some more. Ketovore crystal. I don't know. My mind is reading it, but my mouth won't catch up with me. Maybe it's still cold from that rain shower I got.
There's your cold plunge.
Right. Struggling with seeing family and friends metabolically ill and unable to convince them to change to a proper human diet. How do you cope with this? Thanks for your input. Larry, what's up, man? What you think?
We've always said that, just lead by example, and just start losing weight. We don't have a ton of, we have a lot of family members that eat the standard American diet, but a lot of them are in pretty good shape.
Mm-hmm.
We have a few that are really heavy and unhealthy. But they're not going to listen until they're ready.
That's right.
So if they see you, doing great, feeling better, Cassie and I look like different people from, 2 years ago. So, they've seen that change, and, hopefully it'll inspire them, and then maybe they'll ask you questions but it's like with anything, they don't want to be harped on. You know what I mean? The best we could ask for is they leave us alone when we're only eating steak, and not start, nailing us with like, oh, why are you doing that for? That's bad for you. Just, let them watch and let them learn.
Yeah.
You got anything to add to that, Mamo?
Well, I'm in complete agreement with you, no harping. Even though I've tried talking to family members. Yes, hey, if they open that door, let
me stop you. Cassie's very passionate, and she's like, especially since her mother passed, she's become like the mother hen of the family, and it just kicked in. So yeah, she's a little more vocal than I think most people would be, especially with our kids that aren't eating carnivore.
Well, my mother had colon cancer. I had colon cancer. Well,
sure.
Our kids are at risk for that as well. So I do harp on them. Our daughter, she's pretty much low carb, and she's in and out of carnivore. It's trying to get little Larry, and I do harp on him, and I what I get from him all the time, Mom, just stop, just not today, Mom, just stop.
Yeah.
Thinking never. I'll never stop. But
What about you, Sean?
yeah, how about you?
Man, listen, I did a year, let's see, a little over a year of this basically by myself as far as my family and, close friends. Other than Larry, Larry was doing it. That's where we met, right? Larry and Cassie and you guys. But I don't remember ever even asking my wife to do this. I don't ever remember even being like, hey, you should do this or what. I mean, I'm sure I did. I'm sure in jest, I was like, well, you wouldn't have that problem if you, would eat carnivore. It would solve that problem. But at the same time, man, I was so bad off when I started. Like I was used to being wrapped up in myself and focused on me and, self-centered and whatever else for so long, man.
Well, you were focused on saving your life too.
Yeah.
I mean, you were really,
yeah.
For them.
Right. Well, it became that, yeah. But I mean, I think a lot of my issue was that as time was going on, leading into that 3 years, the focus of life started to turn more and more inward with me. Like, well, I feel like crap, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and I do this, or it became about me instead of, about my family more so. And that's one of the things I feel like that carnivore has given me back, because it has so radically changed my body. Not just because to talk about the healing, obviously on here, I want people to know it, but there's a reason. Knowing the information and doing the information isn't going to do you any good if you don't take advantage of the life that you've been given back.
Right.
That's the whole thing, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, I'm getting way off the point, but like my wife, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, they all came to this way. They all eat this way. They've all had their own benefits that they could testify to now. But for a year and something, it was just me, just every day in and out, doing it, living it by the example. And they all saw what happened with me and wanted it. So, I mean, I think that's the only way. It's just like anything else. It doesn't matter what you know until people want it for themselves. And I promise everybody watching at home, if you will set the example, I'm not saying they'll want it, they'll come, but they will, I think they will want it. I think they will see in your life the radical transformation and the benefits that you're displaying. You should be the happiest person on the block. Your life, focus on that. I think that's the big takeaway for me.
Yeah, I like to relate it like it's like compare it to a toxic relationship, right? 5 people who all know and love you so much, they see that this partner that you're with is just bad, and you're not going to see it until you see it. It doesn't matter who tells you what they experienced in the past or anything like that. Not until they see it, then only then will they realize what they need to do. So you can say it all day long,
Definitely.
With me and my harping, I can harp all day long, but until they realize it for themselves, it's, all you can do is just keep plugging away and doing what you're doing. Right?
Absolutely.
For sure.
I agree. Hey, Whitney, appreciate the question. Whitney says, I've heard several people lately mentioning priming. Can you explain what priming is, please? And have you all tried it? You guys know what priming is?
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah, you and I talked about it, I believe, Sean, a while back. Like when you're hitting the wall of doom, you eat as much as you can. And this is after you were talking with Bella for a little while. And they teach that in their group, don't they, about priming? Has something to do with just like eating as much as you can, or you explain it. It's you know it better than I do.
and I'm learning it. Yeah, the steak and butter game. Like Raymond Nizan basically wrote the priming protocols, and I don't know all of them. They have calendars. and certain specific things and certain days for so long that you do certain things. It's to me, it's confusing in a lot of ways. At the same time, like if I knew it, maybe it wouldn't be. But they call what we call the wall of doom, they call it, something else. It's the same concepts, it's just different wording for that concept. But basically, priming is when you first come to carnivore, eating meat, eat a snack, like you're trying to almost overload your body with nutrients because you've been lacking them for so long. And if you will get your body completely just as stuffed as you can with nutrients that you need and the right food for a certain amount of time, as we all can attest to, it will cut your cravings back. Because when you're full of the right stuff, you won't want the wrong stuff. It's when you're hungry and you're in a pinch and all the things when you want to have something that's not on plan, right? So the best way to curve that is to be full of the things that you that are on the plan. And so basically it's a certain amount of time. They work in a lot of fasting with their stuff, but priming is basically taking a certain amount of time and overloading your system with it. And that's not, they, like I said, they have certain time limits and different schedules to follow, but that's the overall gist.
And then the food fatigue sets in, right? The wall of doom. And then you get past that, your cravings are crushed. And yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And for them, like whenever you get to what we call the food aversion or the wall of doom, and the meat looks horrible to you, it's time to start fasting. And they have fasting protocols, on a calendar as well that you would follow after that.
So I always thought priming is that little bulb that you push on the lawnmower.
It is. It's on the old school lawnmower.
Oh, man.
You're priming your body.
Yeah. Same thing. Got it.
Oh, absolutely. Carnivore. What are your favorite foods for fall? I am on beef French fry kick. Oh, okay. I thought that's what it said. Beef French fry kick, inspired by Bill Knott. Lots of salt. So good.
Well,
chicken soup for me. That's my favorite. Steak, yeah. I mean, steak is more satiating, but especially when the weather starts to cool down, I love me some chicken soup.
Yeah. I mean, we have a couple awesome. I'm just going to plug it for people who don't know our channel. Cassie's got a chicken soup recipe that's clean. A chuck roast is really good for the fall. She's got a chuck roast recipe. And we're also looking, I want her to come up with a carnivore chili. Which you'd have some seasonings in it, but
a lot.
Yeah. But the chicken soup's probably my favorite. What about you, Dave? Other than steak, you like anything for fall, man?
I'm. This is going to come out the wrong way. I'm so simple. I'm stuck on the beef and eggs. Yeah, I've just got no interest in anything else. Yeah, which I'm happy with. Having no interest in anything else means I'm not going to slip.
Absolutely.
See, I wish I could be like that. I really do, but man, oh man, I'm the type of person. I need variety. I do.
Yeah. And
I really wish I could be simple. Like Sean, I think you eat ribeye almost every day. And I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can.
No, I can't.
But I'd like to add to the fall list too is bone broth. Beef bone broth is in the fall times when we really start making it again, and love that. Like in the summer months, we really don't make it much.
Some beef bone broth with some ground beef. That's like a soup almost.
Right.
That's pretty good.
What about you, Sean? I mean, you're like Dave, right? Simple's the way it goes.
I am so boring when it comes to food. I really am. It's ribeyes, eggs. I will walk to the refrigerator and just grab a stick of butter and take a big chunk out of it and put it back in the refrigerator with the teeth marks left in the butter so my wife can see it. And I even sometimes I'll position it where she can't help but see it whenever she opens the refrigerator. She's like, is that teeth marks in the butter? Yeah, baby, it sure is. I was hungry. And it did the trick. It does the trick. If you've never tried it, try it one day. You don't know what you want. You're hungry. You can't tell if you're extremely hungry, if whatever. Go take a big off the side of a stick of butter. See if how that works for you.
Absolutely.
But ribeyes and eggs, man. Beef, butter, bacon, and eggs is going to be minus the bacon for the most part.
Yeah.
Is my way to go. I love it. Let's see here. Some of the comments are long and they look like questions. It throws me off. Oh, Marcy, so happy to see you guys live. Any advice on how long to transition from vegetarian? My friend is very grossed out by meat, but needs to change diet due to colitis. Thanks. Honestly, what do you think about that, Dave? I should pass it off.
I'm not sure, but I would probably be doing that slowly, because if you've been vegetarian, then you're completely changing things, right? So yeah, I would be doing it over maybe I'd be looking at 2 months to change, probably. Yeah. Cassie, any thoughts?
Yeah. What I would do, me personally, I think Ketovore is a great start. That way they're still getting their vegetables and they're implementing meat. Okay. And then just start slowly eliminating it. I mean, 2 months, as long as it would take for that person. They've been a vegetarian for however long. It seems like a really long time. But yeah, Ketovore for a few months or a few weeks. I mean, that when we first couple times we fell, that's what we did. It's like going from standard American diet. For me, carnivore was too hard of a turn. I needed that transition. So that would be my advice is go Ketovore.
Yeah.
And then
That's what we always called it too, or like transition meals. Cassie would make like a Ketovore dish and say, oh, I got a transition meal here. And I would enjoy that with her for like 2 or 3 days. And then I go strict to carnivore, where she would go like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But Dave's right. Maybe take your time with it.
Yep.
We've never come from a strict vegetarian diet straight to carnivore, but we have eaten all processed food and then gone to carnivore. And from our experience, about 2 to 3 weeks before you're really fat adapted.
Yeah.
Really in a deep state of ketosis. But we've seen it vary with different people in our community. So, but glad to hear they're thinking about doing it. That's awesome. Sean?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything to add more than what you guys said. You guys covered it. I mean, like, just do it slow. Give your gallbladder, if you still have it, give your gallbladder time to ramp up. It hasn't been, producing to break down that fat like you need it to function whenever you come to carnivore, and just give it time, man. I mean, what is it? Rome wasn't built in a day, I mean,
right.
You didn't get in this condition overnight, and to think that you're going to magically wake up in the morning and now you're carnivore and all your problems are gone and the sun is shining. I mean, you're setting yourself up for unrealistic expectations. I feel like, when you go into it, that approach. At the same time, ride the momentum, because if you're making those changes in your life, go as far as you think you can go. Don't make it an excuse, to stay like you are either. You don't want to fall back into old habits and old patterns. So it's got to be a healthy balance, slowly but surely, one good decision a day. I love Bob when he says that, man, 1% better every day.
I'd like to add to that too, especially somebody who is a vegetarian. They more than likely had a lot of fiber, right? So their gut biome is going to change. I just think anybody coming off of a standard American diet or vegetarianism, veganism, just because personal experience, and this is one thing I always like to tell people, educate yourself, especially when it comes to bathroom issues. They're not pleasant. I don't want people to be caught off guard. I mean, you need to know, because the last thing you want to do is be out and about and what the heck was that? What does Joe Rogan call it? Astonishing
Yeah,
diarrhea.
The diarrhea is astonishing.
Yeah.
Astonishing diarrhea.
They need to know about that. And they also need to know that, providing they still have their gallbladder, and the colitis I'm a little concerned with, but just be in the know.
So on that topic, just shout out to one of my new friends that I met in Australia, Bernadette. She calls it disaster pants.
Yeah, true.
That's good too.
Disaster pants.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, that's absolutely. But congratulations to your friend for opening her mind up, learning some truth, and getting to better health, man. Because that's gonna. I feel like that'll do it, definitely. And encourage them. Encouragement goes a long way.
Yes.
That's one of the biggest things about community. And before, I don't know, Dave. I don't know if you. This is one thing that I was gonna ask. Do you have a Facebook community, or I know you're in mine, you're a moderator in mine, you're in mine, you're in Carnivore Quest, I think. Do you have your own, I don't know.
At this stage, I haven't. Yeah, I need to start one, but I haven't got anything yet, no.
Okay, I don't feel bad, because I made this, and for everybody to come join us in relation to the community thing. We got Carnivore Quest, you got Carnivorous Community. Come join up, contribute, and add to the community.
Get some support and accountability, because it's so important. It really is.
Yeah, and there's also Carnivore Quest for women.
Mm-hmm.
There's a separate group that Cassie runs.
Just for the ladies.
Just for the ladies, with all those female issues.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, we don't need to be blasting that out to the rest of the world, I mean, there's some things that we just need to keep private.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Steph says, anyone have a histamine reaction from just eating beef? Have y'all heard of anybody?
Yeah,
I haven't.
A couple people in group had mentioned that, actually, semi-recently, about being allergic to beef. I think they said they were allergic to beef and eggs. And they're like, well, what's left? Bacon? Oh boy, I'm really sorry to hear that. And I heard that might be I guess meat in general, a COVID thing.
Wow.
A COVID side effect that I don't know if it's just all meat or just beef, but I have heard of it, but I don't know anybody who has it personally.
Yeah, I haven't. And I mean, I don't know, man. Like I heard, and I don't even know if this is scientifically accurate, but like they said something about a tick or something like that, that you could get bit by, that would cause you to become allergic to it. But I don't know the science, and I really haven't looked that deep into it to know enough more than just to say that. I have heard of there's a lot of people that's allergic to like egg whites, the different parts of the egg. There's people that are obviously allergic to shrimp, shellfish. There's different things, but the other interesting thing is that, a lot of people who are allergic to stuff, when they come to carnivore, start eating this way, and then all of a sudden they try it. Why? I don't know. I don't know what would make you want to try something that you're allergic to see if you're still allergic, I guess, but they do, and they're not. So
when we were on the standard American diet, eggs would really mess Cassie's stomach up.
Yeah, I couldn't even have one.
No. And when we got on carnivore, she was leery of them for a while, but then she had some and she was fine.
Yeah.
So
no issues anymore.
Yeah, they always really messed her up. So
yeah.
She, for years, didn't eat eggs.
Mm-hmm.
But with carnivore, she can enjoy them and not a problem at all.
Nope.
That's what's up.
PhD strikes again.
Every single time. That's good stuff. What's up, brother? Good to see you, Daryl. Have y'all had anyone say there's no way they could eat ketovore or carnivore and give up pasta, but come back to you after seeing your changes and start asking for a lot more information? Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've explained it so many. Like maybe that's probably one of the driving factors for why this YouTube channel exists, because helping other people, sharing it with other people. But you know how many times I have spent hours talking to people from, I used to work EMS with, for example. I know I can think of 5 people right now that I've shared it with that I used to work with that called me, So a lot of people trying it. What about you guys?
Usually what we hear is I can't give up bread. I mean pasta too, but bread's a big one.
It can be done. So myself being an Italian woman, a woman of actually Sicilian descent, let's get it right. And then there's also Italian Gone Carnivore. Now she's true blue. That woman is straight up. I mean, her mom's from they're from Italy, the Calabrese section. They're and she's given it up. So it can be done. We used to have pasta every single week. Some type of pasta, lasagna, pizza, you name it. And, here we are not having it. And same with the bread.
Yeah.
So it can be done. It can be done.
What about you, Dave?
Sorry, I lost my mute button there. The way it usually happens with me is people go, "Oh, great results! That's fantastic! You look awesome! What have you done?" And you tell them, and you spend all this time telling them, and then they're like, "Oh, I could never give up pasta. I could never give up bread. I could." And so it doesn't happen in the order that Nola Carnivore has said there, but it's always I can't give up those things.
Right.
So you don't eat any vegetables?
Right.
Yeah.
No. Like that, you should have just led with that, because if Dr. Bear had just led with you don't have to have any vegetables, I would have just been hook, line, and sinker from the get-go right then. Eating vegetables was never my strong suit, if you know what I'm saying.
Isn't it crazy though? At least for me, after going to Carnivore, I do miss them. Like, boy, I never thought I'd miss vegetables so much before in my life, but I miss them. But I feel pretty good, so I feel better than that food tastes.
The only vegetable I miss is we ate a lot of this on keto, was roasted cauliflower in olive oil.
Yeah,
in the oven. It's like candy. It's so good.
And we would overeat. It'd be nothing for us to eat a head of cauliflower. It's like, there's 30 carbs right there.
Right.
You miss cauliflower. You don't miss Brussels sprouts. You want some Brussels sprouts, maybe some asparagus or something.
I can't believe anyone would ever miss a Brussels sprout. I can't believe.
Yep, I tried Brussels sprouts, man. I actually, it was Dr. Barry way earlier in our keto journey. Yeah, just fry them up in bacon grease, and they were still horrible. I couldn't do those. But cauliflower, or like you said, Chum, asparagus in the air fryer, that's fire too. We ate a lot of those two vegetables.
Broccoli and cheese, we ate a lot of that too.
Yeah, that's right.
No more.
Nope.
Oh, that's what's up. Let's see. I had them all to the side. Mary Simpson, thank you for the question. I have a real aversion to eating the fat on my steak. It is a textural issue for me. I add butter to make up for it. Any suggestions? Cass, you're the butcher aficionado.
I did too. I had issues with that as well. When I first started Carnivore, we'd get a fatty ribeye, and then the section of fat in between the cap and then the main body. I couldn't eat it. It was disgusting until I started frying it up, especially if it's grilled. Give me that grilled fat all day. It's so good. So a lot of people recommended cook it up, just remove the fat and then you can cook it. And that's one way to go about doing it, or just make sure you're searing that fat real well.
Yeah, we'd save our trimmings and then throw them all in a frying pan, crisp them up real good, and then enjoy them. Mm-hmm. But Cassie just put out a video how to make beef tallow, and you could actually save those trimmings and make a batch of beef tallow if you
Yep.
saved enough of them. So, but yeah, totally understand. A lot of people don't like the texture.
Yeah.
But I found when I'm really fat adapted, like I'm deep in ketosis, I mean, my body's just running 100%. I crave that fat, you know, and I can swallow it no matter what the texture, but totally understand.
Takes
you
some
know.
getting used to.
Yeah, totally understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
Dave, you got anything on that?
Yeah. Look, I understand this because for me, I'm a very textual eater as well. Like I can't eat oysters because of that kind of that texture. But I would say I agree with you. Fry it up, and also cut it into really small pieces, because it's much easier when you don't have like this massive lump of fat in your mouth to swallow it. You know, if it's just this tiny little bit and it's fried a lot, yeah, it's a lot easier to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, anything?
Oh man, I put it on the grill. I love it on the grill. The more crispy it gets, the better, you know. So, and then I will melt butter on top of the fat. It's like grace on top of grace.
Fat on fat. Grace on
It's
grace.
fat on fat is like grace on top of grace. You know, it's like what a gift.
Yeah.
I love it. So that's what I do. My wife had it too. My wife would not, because like I said, the last year I eat the same thing. So I bring home these ribeyes and I don't let the butcher trim the fat off the side of it. So you got this huge chunk of fat literally hanging off the ribeye. And so my wife would cut that part off and like ask me if I wanted, or even feed it to the dog, you know, whatever, you know, because she wasn't going to eat it. I'm like, you give it the best part away. She just couldn't do it, but now she loves it. So your taste can change on you.
That's
So
right. That's right.
yeah. Running tap. Do you think I could just cook ribs wrapped in aluminum foil, I guess, in the oven, low heat for as long as they take? Cass, you there again. You're the cook, the chef, the what? I have no other idea. I don't cook anything without burning it, hardly.
Low and slow. Now, I don't know if these are beef ribs. A lot of people like to parboil them ahead of time. That's just not my thing. I don't like putting my meat in water unless I'm braising it. But yeah, I mean that's one method you could try. But yeah, low and slow.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll work. You just got to keep an eye on them to see when they're done. You know,
Yep.
Dave.
Yeah, I'm going to go with your answer. I'm not the one to come to for cooking advice, so I'll pass on this one. Sean.
Yeah, I had to pass on it too. Like I said, I'm glad Cassie was here tonight. One more reason, she gives the screen something way better to look at than all you rough-looking gentlemen, and she's got all the cooking tips. So if it doesn't have to do with the grill or the reverse searing in the oven, like it's out of my league. I'm pretty boring. Oh, I mean, I guess Kip would. I've seen a couple of people ask about Kip. Kip decides to take when Kip takes days off and doesn't do the live. He's the one that decides that. He's got other stuff going on. He's got a little girl he's trying to raise, and he's got a wife at home. And sometimes priorities take the cake, so to speak. And I ain't mad. Take the steak, yeah. Take the steak. And honestly, you know what? Unless you want to be here, man, like you need to be at home with your wife and your kids. That's where your first priority's at. You know. So I ain't mad at you, buddy.
Family first.
Oh yeah. Here's the fun one. Do you guys eat raw beef? Yeah, I haven't. I don't. It's close. It's real close. I'll eat it raw with the outside brown. What about you, Dave?
Yeah, I haven't had it raw, but yeah, I mean close to it, like you said. But I'd give it a go, but I don't think I'd eat it on a regular basis. Larry, Cassie, how about you guys?
No, I mean, I've tasted ground beef before, but no, it's not my thing. We do medium rare, both of us. That's what
Yeah.
we enjoy. Sean, oh, I'm sorry, baby. You got anything to add to
That's a hard no.
that?
Well,
Get myself in trouble here.
oh, I know, man. There was a while back somebody was going around talking about eating raw chicken and all kind of foolishness, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, whatever,
No
man.
comment.
I'm not eating anything raw.
I mean,
Not
I
like that.
understand,
Close.
for nutritional values, like if you take vegetables, for example, the longer you cook the vegetables, the more nutrition you're losing from them. So I could see the same thing being with meat. However, it's just, nah, that's okay. We seem to be doing fairly well. And we used to eat our steaks well done back in the day.
Yeah.
We had no idea. I know, right?
Now you eating steak trying to fight off the scurvy.
Right.
Oh, man. Grumpy Old Ben, appreciate the question, man. What is your definition of ketovore? For me, it's carnivore with an added onion, garlic, etc., just for flavor, not a side of veggies. For me, that's keto. Okay, I mean, like, I don't know, man. I'll answer. For me, like, not for me. From what I heard Dr. Berry say, and it can't mean something different to everybody. It has to mean this, right? Like, you may not do what that is and call it that, but for to the best of my understanding, keto is 20 grams of total carbs or a day or under. Ketovore is 10 or under. Carnivore is as close to 0 or under. I don't know how you get under 0, but apparently, according to my brain, you can. So that's what I've been taught. That's what I've heard most of the influencers, doctors say in the space. So if that's what you're doing, then that's what it is. You can do whatever you want to and call it what you want to call it and all those different things. But that's what the influencers and the people who I learned from. That's what they said about it. You guys got anything more than that? I mean, anything any different?
That was my understanding.
Go ahead, Dave.
Sorry. That what Sean said is my understanding. Sorry. Go ahead, Larry.
I was just going to add that, like for us, when we said, "Oh, we're doing ketovore," it would be a side of vegetable, but not with every meal.
Yeah.
We maybe have, let's say a steak and some asparagus a couple times a week, and then we would, if we want a little grilled onion with some hamburgers, maybe another day that week. But yeah, pretty much what Sean and Dave said is the technical definition of it. Some people even think keto's, under 50 carbs. I've heard that too. So, but whatever works for you, and part of the journey is finding out what works for you, and you'll get there. But then no matter what, all of them are part of the proper human diet spectrum.
Yeah.
So it's just whatever fits right in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And good luck to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I don't major on the whole name thing. I don't care what you call it. I just want to know that it works. Yep. You know what I mean? Like that. At the end of the day, people who are suffering, don't get distracted by all that. It's gonna work. Focus on doing it. Changing it. That's the thing. Thank you for the question, though, my friend. There's my buddy Steve, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for the super chat. My doctor is okay with me being on the carnivore diet as long as I cut the fat off of my steak. So I follow the doctor's orders. What do you think the point is to eat the fat separately from the meat? Right? I mean, thank you for the super chat, brother. I appreciate you. Go check out Carnivore. Subscribe to the channel, my man. He's putting him some content out too. You guys really enjoy him. Steve's a great guy. Him and his wife Teresa, they're amazing people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, they were the meet and greet.
Of course they were. Yeah, they're really good people. Mm-hmm. It was one of my highlights of that day was meeting those two. It's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome comments, Steve. Great comment.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing. That's where you're getting your energy from. You're getting your fat, your protein. As long as you cut the fat off. That sounds like something my doctor would say.
Eat more chicken breasts.
Yeah. Are you going to eat like this forever? But now that you've gotten this healing, now that you've lost 270 pounds, come off of all your medications, completely transformed your life, are you going to go back to eating the way you ate before you did all that and you were miserable and couldn't stand to see another day?
And just remember, you're only in remission.
Only in remission.
Only.
My goodness. That was the other stat that I wrote down. 20 million, 8.4% of every American has depression in 2020. 90% of those who seek help don't eliminate their depression on the first treatment received. 2/3 of the patients will not see remission with the first treatment at all, even if it involves medication, TMS, etc., and shock therapy. So,
Shock therapy.
people on SSRIs, people on getting therapies, different sessions, 2/3 of those people are not going to see remission the first treatment at like the first time they seek help at all. I mean, so knowing how the way we're eating affects your mental health, and I can assure you, I've read 2 different books over the last month that are talking about, or I listened to a podcast and read a book that was talking about the link of your blood sugar activation spiking being directly related to your mental health. And that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. We know it. We know how eating this way affects us. And we got to get the message out, because it's not just about the weight loss. That's great. It's all the other stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And sorry, not to make light of anything related to mental health, but just this is the first time I've heard of shock therapy. And maybe it's not working because maybe some doctors are taking it a little bit too literally and hiding under their desks and going, "Boo, you still got it." It's
my guy.
I didn't even know they still did shock therapy.
I didn't either. That's what the guy wrote in the books. I wrote it down. I mean, it's pretty amazing, man, to see the connect. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that's in Chris Palmer's book, Brain Energy.
He's a good one to follow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to have him on. I want to talk to him too. Maybe we'll have him on a Friday night and he can come learn me some stuff. Learn me something. Look who showed up, man. Like I told my dude if he was going to get in, he said he had a bunch of stuff he had to do today, and here he is playing on YouTube, man. How you getting something done if you playing on YouTube? Man, you know we love you too, man. I hope everything's well with you. We appreciate you, brother. We miss you, man. We'll see you soon.
What's up, Kip?
Oh, y'all gonna let me get behind. Crystal Firestone, thank you. Appreciate the super chat, friend. Love these Friday night live sessions. You're so inspiring. 134 days carnivore and feel freaking great. Cassie, you look beautiful tonight.
Oh.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the 134 days. And yeah, Cassie.
It's all that meat. Feeling good. Right. Congratulations, Crystal. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the super chat. You guys are amazing, generous, and stuff helps a lot more than you think, man. Even a comment after the live show's over, this chat will go away. The live chat will go away. You guys jump down in those comments and leave us something that's going to be permanent there. That's going to stay on the video, just to let us know what you think about the show, what you like, what you didn't like. What you'd like to see, what the community's meant to you, what Larry and Cassie, man, you guys know I made a video for you because I try to tell you just a little bit about how I feel. I try to make sure and remind you guys, when I see Dave, I tell Dave how I feel about Dave, Kip, same way, man. I feel like gratitude and showing the people that we care and that we love in this life and telling them. Don't assume they know, just tell them, because they want to hear it, man. That really ring true and ring home to me whenever, I hear my kids telling me, "Daddy, I love you. Daddy, I'm proud of you." It means a lot to me. I know they do, but hearing it, man, it means a lot, So I try to reciprocate that, you know, build them up, speak into them, encourage them. Do that with my friends too. And I always get something out of it when they do it to me too.
Cheers.
Oh, let's see here. We just pushed over an hour. I'm throwing stuff all over. I just threw my pen. I threw my pen up under the desk, and
Oh no.
I know
Now he's
I'll be
lost.
crawling on. I know I don't have anything to fidget with. My brain's working over. Trying to scroll through and see if did you guys see anything that I missed that you guys wanted to hit up?
Aid Larson has a question.
Yeah, 904.
904. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's see. 904. I don't know how I ended so far back up.
Oh, right above Texas Donna. Hey, Donna, and Anna Maria's in here.
Anne Marie.
Anna Maria. I always say that. My bad.
No, Anna Maria is Anna Maria, and this is Anne Marie.
All right. I'm out of here.
Bye.
Blowing this stand. Adele Larson, question. Who would have thought that food which made us evolve is actually beneficial and good for us?
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
Not the
I mean,
doctor.
Well said.
It's so simple. It's too easy. It's too easy. You know, a basic human need that we need to put in our body, it's got to be more complicated than what it is, right? It's so simple, and that's why I had a lot of self-doubt when I came to it, but I can assure you it works.
Right.
I
But
think oh, sorry, go ahead, Larry.
Oh no, I was just going to say from a creation, because I believe in creation, not an evolution. Everybody can believe whatever they want, but I believe our bodies were created perfectly for this diet. This is how our bodies were created. And if evolution is the way everything went down, then you're absolutely 100% correct. So Dave, go ahead, man.
I was just going to. I think part of the problem with what Aid said there is like why we don't just get it that the simple food is what's good for us is marketing, obviously, and the misinformation that's out there, but also humans have this tendency to want to complicate everything. And I've talked about this before, but if it's simple, it can't be that easy. If I want to get a promotion, it's not simple. If I want to start a business, it's not simple. So if I want to lose weight, if I want to get healthy, it can't be simple. Mm-hmm. We extrapolate so many things onto what should be easy, and we don't need to do that often.
Have you been talking to my wife? Like you just literally told me that I try to always do things the hard way, right?
I'm like that too, Sean. I take the long way around. I do.
Man, I tell you, at some point in life, you think we would get to the point where you'd realize, like, choose to do hard stuff. You can do hard stuff. That's great, but you don't always have to do things the hard way. You can take the easy way sometimes, right? We'll still be looking for it anyway. I agree with you, Larry, on the creation thing too. Somebody else mentioned that. I believe 100% we were created. I believe we were designed by an all-powerful, all-knowing, omniscient, everywhere present creator. So, people believe what they want to believe, but I created in the image of the true God. Thank you for the question, Adele. Appreciate you. Go ahead, Cassie. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say it's kind of hard to believe that everything came from nothing, But I mean, we know better. I mean, that's just a basic argument. How did everything come from nothing? How did we all from an amoeba?
I love
different species, and it just. But I know better because I feel differently because I have a relationship, and it's hard to explain that. It's people can ask for an argument, but until you're in that relationship, you really can't explain it. I mean, sure, you can pop off some type of a Bible verse or whatnot, but it's that personal relationship, and you don't know until you actually submit, and then and you
Mhm.
can't explain how you know, you just do. Right?
It's looking to me.
If
That's
that made any sense.
The way I
It
always
does.
the way I always explain it, my experience is you have a child and the father tells them, don't touch that heater. You know, it's very hot. Don't touch it. Well, the child believes his dad, right? He believes him, but he doesn't know. But then one day he goes over and he touches it, burns his hand. Now he knows for sure. And that's what our walk with God was like. Once we had a relationship with him, we actually experienced it. And, you know, we no longer believe, we know it,
Yeah.
you know? So
Mm.
that's how I always put it.
Yeah.
But man, most of our family, a lot of our kids, they're atheists. They, you know, they don't believe, and you know, we pray for them, but it's all good. You know,
Just like with eating carnivore, they gotta get it on their own, man.
exactly.
And that's the thing. Like, I've got friends, and you and I both have some friends who are atheists. I'm not mad at them. I don't have this grudge against them. I love them the same.
Yeah.
I love you just the same as I love my brothers and sisters in Christ. I want differently for you, but if you don't come to that understanding and you want it, then why would I? You know, all I can do is live it. I'll share carnivore with you. I'll share the journey with you, and I'll share my faith with you. And if you want it, I'll be more than happy to share that with you.
Yeah,
You know,
I was an atheist / hater. I hated God for most of my life. You know, most of my life I was not a believer at all. So I can definitely. There's no hate in my heart for someone that doesn't believe because I was there, man.
Right.
You know, that was
Mhm.
us. When we met, we were enemies of God.
Yeah. My argument was, well, the Bible was written by men.
Yeah.
Some
Mhm.
magical fairy in the sky, you know, I mean, for years and years, but
Mhm.
not until you know, you know.
How'd we get on that
Yeah.
subject? Evolution?
I don't know, man. It was written by 40 different authors over a period of 1,400 years with one concise message, and it points to the cross. But I mean, seriously though, like, I don't know, man. I could talk about this all day and
Yeah.
all
So
night.
could I, man. We thought about starting a Christian channel just so we don't get shadow banned.
Right.
I know we should definitely we should all meet back at the same bat time, same bat channel, except for a different channel where we don't get shadow banned.
Right.
Speaking of which, I put up my Christmas decorations today. I don't know if you saw my Facebook post.
I haven't been on
It's
Facebook
up all year
yet.
round. I never take them down. It's an
What
activity.
was it?
That's it.
There was a
That's
song, a country song. I leave my Christmas lights on the front porch all year long, or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a country song? You listen to country? I do. I used to listen to country. I listen to
I
nothing
listen
but
to
worship
Chris
music now.
Stapleton.
That dude, he could sing the phone book.
That dude,
That kid,
man,
Good
he's in a
Christ.
league of his own.
That guy's about it.
yeah,
Okay.
he really is.
Yeah, he is. He's something else. And regarding country, I mean, that would be about it for me. But he's pretty amazing.
I would
Yeah.
classify him more as blues country. Though. Have you heard of Chris Stapleton, Dave?
I haven't. No.
Dude.
I'm not a music aficionado at all.
Dude, when you get off here, look up on YouTube Chris Stapleton. Well, he's got some song. What is it? What is the Tennessee whiskey and
Yeah, he's got so much.
what is it? It's
So much
cold.
Cold. His
Why
BMA
you gotta be
from
so
20
cold?
Yeah. There's just starting over. I mean, he's got so many songs out there that, I mean, if you were in America anyway, and you happen to be in a restaurant or out and about, and you didn't know who he was until you started listening to him, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that was him. I didn't know that was him. He's got so many hits out there, but he's got some soul. He can play. He's a songwriter, singer. He's amazing. He is absolutely amazing. I love him.
Yeah, check
Thank
him
you. I'll
out for
check him
sure.
out. Yeah.
Hmm.
He's got some pipes, man. He could
Yeah.
he literally could sing the phone book and it
Oh.
would sound amazing.
Right. Yeah, he's awesome.
Oh,
Cheers.
let's see. Make sure I'm not missing anything. And Adele said, "Yeah, I'll put this up. It matters not if you believe the divine creation or random evolution. We're supposed to eat meat. It's what makes us healthy and strong. Together we are strong. Carnivore community is growing. 100%. I agree with you. You can believe what you want to believe. I promise you, there will come a day when we will all be informed, when it's all said and done, who was right and who was wrong. I don't have to be the judge of that. I don't have to be the answer. I love you, Adele. I love you, Kat. Like, I love us. I love all you guys, and I want to see you guys do well. If I didn't think this was the avenue to do it, I wouldn't be here wasting my time doing it. I do believe in it. I've experienced it, and I want other people, regardless of how you believe or how you feel, I want you to be healthy, happy, and thriving. And I think this is a great start in doing that. Absolutely. So I agree with you. This community is great.
It is.
Oh my goodness, where we at? We had an hour and 15 minutes.
There's one at 9:14. Oh, you got it.
Yeah,
hey,
Primal Mike asked Dave.
Right on.
Good to see you, Mike. For Dave, did you start exercising yet? We need to see these YouTube shorts of you doing some calisthenics like Mike Tyson program, which I mentioned to you before.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a confession to make. So I have started doing the exercises, but well, push-ups specifically. I haven't been doing much else, but because of the flying and not sleeping very much, I haven't had the energy. So I've slipped a lot. So I'm going to be getting back into it in the coming week. So the shorts will be following after that. Thanks for the reminder, Mike.
Nice.
Isn't it so hard to get back onto a routine once you've stopped? It only takes like 1 or 2 days. And then it's just almost, 100%. To me, not impossible, but it's really difficult to get back onto a schedule. Like
so easy to break a routine, but so hard to get back into it.
Yes.
That's exactly what I did in April. Whenever I started the YouTube, I was staying up till 3 and 4. I was staying up I was all night and all day. I quit walking in April when I started the channel. I didn't exercise. I sat on the couch. I sat on the chair. I was doing stuff. I was working all the time. I just wasn't exercising. And then getting back into this challenge thing, man, I was like, man, why did I ever stop walking? I feel so good. I have got to make this a priority. Mm-hmm. Like, I just feel so good, you know? Yep. Oh, one more for Dave. I missed it. I thought I saw it earlier, and I went right on past it. But for Dave, my husband and younger daughter love... I'm going to let you read this, man. Hatsune Mike.
Hatsune Miku.
Okay.
And they are looking forward to the VR streaming concert. Do you like Hatsune Miku? And have you seen her in concert there in Japan? I haven't. This is actually the first I'm hearing about her. I did see your comment, and I've Googled her. But it's, I guess Hatsune Miku is an anime character. But yeah, I haven't seen or heard her, but I'll be comparing her to Chris Stapleton shortly after our live stream today.
Awesome. So I guess we're getting ready to wrap up, man. We've been on here. It's almost an hour and 20 minutes, but I have one more question for both of you guys. What is something that you thought you would never get through, but you did? And what do you have in your in your life right now that you learned from that time that you still use? Dave, you want to go first?
Good question. Hang on one second.
How about?
Sorry, guys. Can we go to Larry Cassie first? Sure. Sorry.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, I'll go first. I thought I'd never. When my mom was murdered, I thought I'd never get past that, and that led me to 10 years of drinking, almost the end of our marriage, and it led me to my relationship with God. So I mean, that's what was meant for evil turned out to be the best thing that could have ever happened to me. And in turn, Cassie also has a relationship, and little Larry does too. So yeah, that's definitely my answer. How about you, baby?
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. I
Yeah.
mean, you and I, we went through it together. And so I had to watch you and the other kids mourn.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very unhappy time. There was a lot of depression throughout the house, and watch you drink every day. And I never thought that we would get through that. I thought our marriage was going to end, and that's something we got through though. And here we are today, shiny, happy people.
Listen, and that's a huge takeaway, man, because like, even though last week you talked about slipping, you ate off plan. If you take your life from 8 to 10 years ago, and you're holding it, that life that you were living in this hand, and the life you're living now, and you compare the two, the amount of progress made, and the things that you have changed, you've seen come to fruition. Not just that, but your experience, your knowledge base, your relationship with each other has grown in 10 years in ways that you never could have imagined, based strictly off of what you went through.
Yeah, our marriage was completely restored after I got saved, and it took a little while, but I mean, it was done, man. When I went off to after rehab for 7 months, Cassie never thought she'd see me again.
No, I was done.
I mean, yeah,
I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, she was just watching me kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
Living in the past. I mean, I'd sit there and drink 2 fists of Jägermeister and then just stare at the wall in the garage, crying. After that was my life. Like, I'd work and then do that. We had some happy times, but I was always drunk.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, even if you're a happy drunk, you're still a drunk, and who wants to be around that 24/7? So it's Sean, whenever I talk about drinking is when I have to bring up the Lord. I mean, glory all goes to him, because 7 to 8 different psychiatrists,
light therapy,
inpatient, grief counselors, AA, nothing worked for me until I got on my knees and he gave me a miracle. Right.
Instantly.
Instant miracle took the desire to drink away from me. And, so my whole life changed after that. Got in Carnivore, I mean, even Cassie's cancer, you turn that evil into a good, or that negative into a good we got the channel going now, and we're helping other people. We're sitting here talking to you fine fellas. I mean, our life is wonderful now.
Yep.
And we don't take it for granted, at all, because we lived 15 years of just devastation, so
yeah. Yes. Doom and gloom.
Yeah.
Doom and gloom. It was awful.
Anyway, you guys go ahead.
Dude, listen, he made all things new.
Yeah.
Your relationship, your life. I mean, it's amazing the transformation that you just stop and reflect. You're thankful you've grown, and it gives you fuel to keep going, man. That's good stuff. What about you, Dave? Man, something that you experienced, never thought you would make it through, and you did, and something that you implement in your life now from that time.
So, I had the stroke before, so it would be natural to go, oh, it was probably all the after effects of that. But it wasn't, because I think when that happened to me, I was too young, and kind of, when you're young, you're stupid about how easy it is for life to kind of slip through your fingers, right? So you just go, oh, I'm invincible. And so I think it didn't have the impact it would have if it happened now. But I think the thing that was hard that I got through was it was the living every day to drink. It was the being in a situation where every day only mattered because soon it's going to be over and I'm going to be able to have a drink to finish it off or whatever. And it was that living to drink. And I didn't really realize it consciously at the time, but it was just, it's so damaging to your mental health, as far as like it's depressing. It's like so dark, but you kind of don't realize how bad it is. And it's Carnivore that helped push me out of that. And so that was probably the most challenging thing for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you broke those chains, man. Once you do, it's just so liberating, right, Dave? Once you give up that bottle, you change your life, and no matter what gets you to give it up. I have friends who they really do well with AA, and AA is a big part of their life. And no matter how you get there, as long as you get rid of that out of your life,
Right.
if you have an allergy to it, like you and I and Sean too, he gave up drinking. Once you get rid of it, man, the whole world opens up to you. And I'm so happy for you, man. It's awesome.
Cheers.
Man, I never wanted to drink more than when I went to AA.
Yeah, right.
Like when I went to AA and got those little chips, man, like I was trying so hard. I'm like, but every time I come, I'm not even thinking about drinking. I'm done with that. I about died drinking. Like now that I'm free from that and delivered from it, I don't want to go back to that. But every time I come in here, man, that's all we talk about. I can't get my mind off of it. So I mean, different things work for different people, I guess.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right.
Cassie, before I went to the Christian rehab, Cassie had me in AA and stuff, and I used to pick up liquor on the way there, and drink and then go to the meeting, and they got wind of it, and I got kicked out of a bunch of meetings, and it just never clicked for me, because I had other issues, that I had to heal from. So
all things new, man. All things new.
Yeah.
It's been a good one, man. I guess I'll answer the question just because I asked it and you guys did, and I think it, something that I want to as well. So I would probably say that going through, I never thought I would get out of the depression. Not alive, anyway. I thought that I didn't want to die, but I did. Like I wanted to take my life because I didn't want to live the way I was living, and getting that dark and staying that way for so long helped me to really emphasize and understand the things that are important in life when it comes to relationships and decisions, and how little things add up and can end you up in a place that you never thought you would ever dream of being. If 10 or 15 years ago, if you had told me that I would spend 3 years laying on the couch depressed and not wanting to wake up the next morning, I'm like, you're crazy, man. I'm extremely driven. I'm, educated. I'm happy-go-lucky. I've got lots of friends. I've got a great job. I've got an amazing, drop-dead, smoking hot, gorgeous wife. I've got amazing kids. I had childhood stuff. My mom and dad split up, and there's issues there and stuff that I've carried with me for a long time from that. Who doesn't have issues? But getting that dark, I never thought I would end up there. And so it's really helped me to value and understand relationships and how we need to seize the moment that we have. And that's something that I try to implement in my life. I'm not always great at it. I definitely don't have all the answers. I definitely don't have it all figured out. But I do try to seize the moment. I do try to take advantage of the moment that we have to do what we can while we have it. Because in all honesty, any of us could wake up or not wake up in the morning. Just because we eat carnivore don't mean our ticket isn't going to get punched one day. We're definitely going to check out. We're definitely going to be out of here. So if we're going to do something, we got to do it now. And that's one of the biggest things I think that I learned through going through that I try to implement now is seizing the moment. Do it today. Don't put it off. If you got a message that you need to tell somebody, you had a falling out with a friend, a family member, a loved one, and it's on your mind, just take the blunt. Tell them you were wrong. Even if you weren't wrong, tell them you were wrong. Go show them how much you love them. Tell them you want to restore the relationship, and let it be on their plate. You know what I mean? Life's too short to live life or not live life thinking you're going to do everything tomorrow, and then your ticket comes. And none of those people wish they had more money or more anything else. They always wish they had did those things that I'm asking you to do today. Talk to those persons, restore those relationships, take those next steps, and unlock the chains that are binding you in the dark that you may not know about. Forgiveness is not forgiving people affects us. It keeps us captivated and engaged. It doesn't most of the time the people that we're not forgiving or not are mad at don't even know that we're mad at them or don't even remember. It wasn't a big deal to them. They don't even know probably.
Right.
So open those communication lines.
Well said.
And you guys, Marty dropped one. Thank you, Marty. Appreciate
Marty
your
Mac.
gift. You are amazing. She said, to God be the glory. We all came through the fire carrying buckets of water to help others. 100%.
That's right.
And as far as these guys right here, Carnivore Quest, Larry and Cassie, and no carb, Zerocarb, no carb, however you want to call it. He's got Zerocarb on there now. Mr. Dave, Matt, and myself, like, that's it, man. 100%. Helping others is the reason we do what we're doing. And
That's right.
It's great. So you guys got anything you want to say? I can't say it all, and then we'll close out. Dave, go ahead, brother.
Yeah.
Look, I think you summed it up really well there, where you said, Sean, we've got to seize the day, and we just got to get the word out there. And sorry, that's maybe a little bit teary, but yeah, we got to get the word out there.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Cassie.
You go ahead.
No, you tearing them down too, right?
Sorry.
Oh, man, you are all good, brother. Shoot, I might just bust out here too. Yeah, I want to appreciate everybody watching today, no matter what channel you're on. I have so much respect for these two guys. They both put a ton of time into their channel. Sean does it his way, and Dave does it his way, and both of them. There's a handful of people in the YouTube space I really respect on the backside of things, and these two guys are the real deal, and really appreciate y'all watching. Cassie and I love y'all. If you're not a warrior on Carnivore Quest, jump over and subscribe. And warriors, if you're still not a part of the intentional carnivore journey or no carb life, jump over there and subscribe, because we could all use the support, suckers.
Absolutely.
Baby doll, you all right now?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. You want to say goodbye?
I love y'all. I really don't know what else to say. I don't have anything that's just awe-inspiring other than it's because of all of you, Dave and Sean included, that everybody in our carnivore space, that inspires us. You may look up to us for inspiration, but I can guarantee you we are inspired by all of you.
Mm-hmm.
And words don't express how much that means to any of us. You've changed our lives, and we love you, and we're so appreciative of you. And it's just, this is an amazing experience. And I'm so looking forward to seeing what the future holds for each and all of us, each and every one of you, all of us. The future is bright. When for so many years it was dark and doom and gloom for everybody for different reasons. I'm sure almost every single one of us have experienced some form of depression, and it's pretty awesome. I can't speak for anybody else, but I know I wake up each and every day, and I look forward to seeing what the day has in store for me. So I just want to say thank y'all, and thanks for showing up, and I love you, Mr. Sean.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. I love you guys too. Dave, Larry, Cassie, you guys are amazing. I love you too, Kip. I know you're still watching because you really ain't got nothing to do. You just sitting at home naked on a beanbag eating Cheetos. But I love you too, brother. And I'm going to see you successful too. it's amazing. It's amazing, the opportunity. I'm blessed. I'm fortunate to be able to have met you guys and work with you guys on Friday. I don't even consider it work. It's amazing to me. It's like fun. It's the highlight of my week, jumping in here and just having a good time talking about stuff I love to talk about and hanging out with you guys. I could do it on stream or off. I'm just glad that all the people get to be a part of it and see the interaction, because what you don't see is this going on behind on the cell phone till 2:00 in the morning, but it happens. And thank you, Marty, again. I think she's donating
Thanks,
you
Marnie.
guys and us. She's
Marnie,
so sweet.
Marnie's jumping around
Appreciate you.
channels, throwing the super
Yeah.
chat.
Thank you, Manny.
Thank you, Marnie.
Appreciate you, Marty. You're great.
Absolutely.
That's too kind. It goes
Very
a long way. But we're gonna wrap it up. We'll finally call it. I know I've said it. If I can find where my mouse went, my little thing jumped onto the other thing. But until next time, you guys come check us out next week. Be here. We'll be here, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. Until then, stay strong and keep pushing forward.